So look at this, some queen nine suited with an undergun open by long card, 3-bet by the jacks of bet on Drew. Nagy with aces. Is this real life? He has had red aces, black aces, and now he has one of each. Featured table today, I believe, is going to have Mr. Chris Moneymaker, Mr. Renee Nezhada, Mr. Phil Nagy, Mr. Michael Lawncar. The list just keeps going on and on and on. And if you talk about a table packed with characters, this is it.
This is going to be fun. It's like a who's who of online and live professionals, man. Oh, and it's always fun when Renee's in the mix because he's just needling people.
Yeah. And in fact, I actually just got the list here too. On top of that, we also have Josh Hopkins and Bet on Drew. This table is going to be legendary today, man. How is this possible? This table is like the table from heaven. We couldn't have a better table to commentate on. I am freaking jacked. So here's the deal. For those of you who might have been living under a rock over the past couple days, this is The Cage. It is a 5K buy-in with an additional 5K add-on / rebuy. It is a cash game tournament hybrid structure. So we have 3 starting day ones. You can play every day one that you choose to play. And of course, all of those stacks will combine and carry into day 2, which is going to be tomorrow. And when I say we have no shortage of action or stacks, I mean it. Drew versus Phil. Flop queen high here. Obviously, Drew with a couple of overs and a gutter to the nutter for Broadway, but a similar gutter for Broadway as well for Phil. And these pots are already much, much larger so far than they were definitely starting yesterday's day one. And Brick City, both players were just ace high. They do. So they're going to start out here at 15.30 with a $5 ante, and then after the first, so they're going to play 2 levels each day. So after the first 3 hours, then they are going to increase to 25.50 still with a $5 ante. So you play 2 levels today on day 1, and then day 2 tomorrow you play 3 levels, and day 2 tomorrow ends with the last level at 75,150. So people are going to be firing.
And you can fire how many bullets?
Bet $1,100.
Well, you can fire up to 2 bullets each of the day ones. So technically speaking, if you fire 10K each of the day ones, you could be into this for 30 grand.
I would be.
Yeah, for sure. Max upside potential. I made a joke about Chris Moneymaker. I said if the Venom is any correlation with bullets fired, he's going to be into that for this. And it looks like we do have a bet. Strong bet by Phil. Drew thinking about looking him up with ace king high. Not going to do it. Phil gets it done.
Man. Phil Nagy. Big wigging it.
See, that's great. That's great. See, and you heard Drew. He said that's the only one. That's the only hand he was hoping that Phil would have had to have if he was going to call there. He's like, he checks back ace king. He bluffs ace 10. I play lots of other games other than poker. I play lots of board games, pinball games, arcade games, video games.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Love pinball.
I think just in general, I'm a strategic game player, and I'll tell you what, as I started getting into poker and learning all of the deep-seated strategy behind it, did Moneymaker just bet in the dark?
Bet and call.
Oh no, I guess he just snap bet here. Moneymaker does bet with top pair, now picking up a straight draw along with it.
Check.
Yeah, after this hand, I'll talk a little bit about the gaming strat.
Yeah, we got a matchup with Moneymaker versus Renee.
Renee with a mystery hand, but with this appropriate stare down. And not going anywhere. Gonna look him up again.
It's 5 pot.
Juicy pots already here. Brickosaurus on the river. Moneymaker still with solid top. Yeah.
5 check.
What's happened for the list of the block that? Okay. If you
And dropping plaque.
53 bet 900.
Oh, you never played before?
And call.
Snap.
I'm trying to figure it out.
And let's see if Renee can beat an ace.
He cannot.
Let me check one thing real quick. Make sure I don't have ace king.
Yep, with that speech, I'm thinking he cannot. All right, so real quick about the strategy talk. I think poker is a beautiful, beautiful game for a variety of reasons, but also when you learn poker and you learn to be a critical game theory thinker, right? It spills over into every other aspect of your life and game playing if you think about it, right? So like learning poker and learning the strategy behind it and to basically do it optimally, game theory optimal, etc., right? I mean, I played Candyland differently with my niece, or you know what I mean? It's like literally that game theory can go over to any other game, and now you're thinking about the optimal way to maximize the tools at your disposal and how to win the best way.
I'm a nightmare though. Like you'll be playing with your family, and you'll be like, okay, so the math on this roll here in Yahtzee, they're like, shut up, you know. Like, I get pretty competitive about like board games and stuff too. I'm with you.
Yeah,
very true. And you know, I think I probably wouldn't have succeeded at poker if I didn't have a chess background of learning before that too. So
exactly. And then again, and that's why you see all these games spill over to each other, right? That's why you see, okay, pro chess player turn poker player, backgammon player turn poker player. It's all these deep theory games that then spill over into poker, and people are like, oh, I can do this.
That's really
If Renee wins like the WSOP main event next year, they're gonna interview him. He's like, God, let me tell you all the bad beats I took today. I ran so bad. Somehow, some way, you're gonna still tell me after you win the main event. My man.
That's true.
That would be the best post main event.
The first sentence will
That's
be
amazing.
Absolute
Fall.
I love you, Renee. I love you.
You're
Fall
never going to have to hear
C2.
that interview.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's the guy who won it 26
Raised
years
to
ago.
80.
The key in that whole thing was one.
No, it's gonna be how like
Aces again for Phil? Are we serious right now? This time 2 red aces, so you know he gave the other black ones back. Now you replace them with some red ones.
405
How bad he
total.
was running in Uruguay during the whole tournament, then he won the main event.
405.
So I bubbled the final table on the high roller with kings. That's running back. And then the guy gives me a poker
is
lesson.
calling.
It's like you
This
played
could be
those kings
fun.
bet. I'm like, we got it all in pre-flop. You have 3 outs. How do I play that?
Look,
back?
Renee can't wait to call. Wow, some suited connectors. We got 5s and Phil
Players.
Nagy's
I had
aces.
a friend down here at the cage a couple days ago telling me he's good friends with the guy that just won the last Venom a couple weeks ago. And he said he had an awful
C5
summer.
checks.
All summer, like a lot of pros did, you know, and just
Yeah.
bricked everything. It was just not even going to play the
Player
Venom and then decided to
six.
play like last minute.
Boom.
Got a transfer from him, from a friend, and then
So sad.
takes it down, takes down the Venom.
I bet. It's gonna be
The loss.
1,025 total.
It would be a good day to win the Venom.
Chris's I don't believe you composure here.
Yeah, that is suspicious face of Chris Moneymaker.
I know that's why he laughed. He just looks and he's like, I'm not buying it,
Very
Phil.
first Venom ever is my best.
All in.
Player
What?
5. It's
Oh my
calling.
God!
Oh baby.
This last one I finished.
Hands on my head. Wow, folks. This is going to be interesting. Is there a world? Is it enough where he could ever get Phil to fold? No, to fold aces?
That's the point that's starting to get.
No.
It's a call here?
Not with the ace of diamonds.
Player 6
Yeah,
is calling.
no way. Yeah.
Number 3 is false.
He said, I got you. 6-7.
Damn, you got to block it. Like that.
Aces again?
Rebuy main table, and Phil needs to stop getting aces. Diamond, please.
We got 2 players heads up.
2 diamonds.
Yeah.
No, just one.
raised 2 diamonds.
Just one. That's not good. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Diamond.
Someone called it ace on the turn.
That didn't work.
Doesn't really change much though. Oh wait,
Nice
what?
hand.
Yeah, the
I don't
graphics
wanna
the
touch
graphics
that.
was
Alright,
reversed. It was
fine.
ace on the turn, 9 on the river. But yeah.
To cover, this was.
What can we count as chips to make sure he has me covered?
Yeah, sure. Okay.
She was so
I think I should've
she was
just
so
folded.
supportive. She's like, sure, and he's like, I'm just kidding.
Moneymaker's money wasn't there. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna push.
Wow, giving Phil chips could be a dangerous scenario. Now, remember, guys, Phil did actually cash on day one for 10.5K. So whatever he bags today will be an additional 10.5K on top, and that's what he takes into day two tomorrow. So game on.
Well, he's
Wow, and look at that flop. Phil Nagy continuing just to sun run.
75.
Flopping the stone cold nutters. Just looking around like, be cool. Long car, though, with the queen of clubs. Is it worth continuing in this pot? And he says yes.
Seat 1 calls. Seat number 2, it's folding. We're heads up.
And another club, and unfortunately, this is what Lon Carr was looking for, but didn't know he didn't want to see. Lon Carr does drill in his head what is technically the third best possible hand here, the queen of clubs.
210 total.
Didn't know he was essentially drawing dead from the flop. The stare down, it's rough. You hit the card you wanted to. Now what do you do? He is just going to find the call here. And the river, the non-board pair. Yeah, hey, Ape, welcome back, buddy. Look at this spot. Nagy flops the nuts. Long card does elect to continue and picks up the club on the turn.
Seat number 6 is betting.
And let's see how much he bets. 870. Does he go for a polarizing sort of value? He does. 2,000. He going for max blood to Lon Carr. This could look very bluffy to Lon Carr. God, it's either the nuts or nothing. Putting Lon Carr in a spot. Lon Carr also doesn't have the rebuy token, remember, so this is a huge chunk to Lon Carr if he's wrong and makes this call. Or, I mean, if he makes this call and he's wrong. This is rough. And he knows Nagy's very capable of putting him in a spot and showing him nothing.
Seat 1.
Nice fold, nice fold.
Nice answer.
God, you running good.
Wow.
I like the
love
fold.
Lon Carr's. I love the fold. I love Lon Carr's statement, his read of the situation. I love everything about that. And you know what? I love Phil's river bet. That 2K is such a sick, polarizing, like double, like 2.5x pot bet. You know, you're just like, dude, it's the nuts or nothing, right? I mean,
Because you make the same bet with the nuts.
Not many can do it with nothing. So a lot of people
Yeah,
are loving
but-
those kinds of spots.
I think the big bet's better.
for sure. But the problem is that I think Lon Carr knows that Phil can for a variety of reasons. Not only because Phil's a capable player, but knowing that Lon Carr doesn't have a 5K rebuy chip behind, and and that's basically half his stack right here if he's wrong. You know, that's rough. It's a rough spot. Wow, wow, wee wow. This is great. This is the I'm not messing around in the blinds action here. I'm raising, not just to raise, but because I have it. So we have the raise, the 3-bet, the 4-bet back by Josh. Oh, Moneymaker, does he rip it in?
And calls.
Moneymaker rips it in and gets snapped, called by Kings of Josh. Whoo, baby. There is so much action at this table.
It's okay. Should I just start walking now or? Probably.
After the flop.
What do you have a
Chris-
after the flop? No, I don't.
Chris already saying he's going to spike a 9. He apologizes in advance.
9.
It's always way less painful when you call for the 9 and it hits. It's just the way it is. It's way less painful.
No diamonds for anybody. Chris still looking for that 1 and only 9. 2 outs. Can he find it? He cannot. Wow. Huge, huge pot for graph up guy, Josh Hopkins. Yeah, well, while you were gone, buddy, I got to tell you, Josh Hopkins right into Moneymaker, blind versus blind. Josh in the small has kings. Moneymaker has 9s. It goes raise, 3-bet, 4-bet. Moneymaker rips all in with 9s. Josh's kings hold. He doubles them up.
A bunch of bullshit.
This is 5 check.
Moneymaker, moneymaker.
Go ahead.
Always got to
Oh,
overplay that
so
one
she
pair.
does say sometimes she wants me to
What was
lose
it,
weight, 'cause she wants
sixes?
me to stick around for a long
Six.
time because there's nobody as cute as me.
6 raise. I mean, bet
Whatever she
110
has to say to make
and
you
call.
lose weight, she'll do.
What was the main event here?
6-5.
How's this fat guy ragging on me? He's like the
Was it-
fattest
it was a
World
4-5,
Series winner
I
ever.
think.
There's one guy I can think of that's overweight.
I'm trying to concentrate.
Moneymaker got a whole bunch of chips in with a pair
Your twin.
in the main
Oh,
event.
yeah.
Replay.
That was
There's a huge pot.
pound for pound, like, you know.
Sorry, it was like ages
Look
ago, like a decade.
Yeah, look at this freaking hand. Nagy continuing the sun run. All the 5s for him here.
At least 4.
Renee with a flopped straight draw, turned with a pair in straight draw.
At least try to make it not look rigged, Nagy.
Scammed everybody.
What's
Jeez.
going on,
No, I
buddy?
mean,
Well, I was just like, last time Renee had a couple random suited diamonds. I mean, I know it's a different board, but he ripped it in against Nagy and got snapped. Don't do it again.
Okay, I'll check this in line here. Drew would check, I check.
check.
I was using Renee's logic here. That just
Sit 6 bet 210, sit 2 pass. This is 5 call.
And Renee's not going to let him get off the hook that easy. Or I guess let himself off the hook, I should say.
I think the 4s would have won, right, with the heart.
Check.
Check
Ooh,
check.
I believe they would have, yeah. Yeah, we both read.
It's 5.
Okay, I know I got 2 red cards. I don't remember what they are. Right now? In fact, they match. So my cards.
Yeah, I was like, you
There's
remember.
How good are you?
There's Renee, found him.
Aces, ace 5, nothing.
That's his run bad right there.
I'm
The
not
running
paying-
cards.
I'm not paying.
And still win the pot. That's the run bad.
Yeah, that's you hear that? That's his run bad.
Hey, remind me when Phil
His run bad is it runs out 4 hearts, but he still wins the pot.
Can I try that? Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Just go really deep. Your best like movie preview voice. Think of like the "Are you ready? One man, one desire." Think of something like that, right?
I feel like I don't know. I feel like I'm better than that, but that's all I got for now.
That's all right. It's a practice thing. It's a practice thing for sure.
$250.
Renee already using a rebuy chip, looking for blood and a double, while Nagy has aces again.
You do have that voice, but it's almost like the Scream voice guy too. Like, do you like scary movies?
What's your favorite scary movie?
Yeah.
So look at this. Some Queen 9 suited with an undergun open by Long Car. 3-bet by the Jacks of Bet on Drew. Nagy with aces. Is this real life? He has had red aces, black aces, and now he has one of each.
Sit 1 pass.
Is this like the 3rd time he's had aces?
Absolutely. And this is interesting, too, because, you know, we saw the ace, king, ace, 10 hand where he showed the bluff against Bet on Drew earlier. And now Drew's got the jacks. He does 3-bet, but he knows that Nagy's not ever really 4-betting light here.
750.
I mean, I don't think Nagy's really 4-betting light. He's not really getting out of line against an under the gun open, and Drew's 3-bet there. So Drew's going to proceed with caution.
I call.
And this
Yeah.
is going to be interesting how this proceeds right here. Because it's Drew's, I mean, it's very easy for Drew to put Nagy on Queen's plus here. I mean, he could have one of the big hands, ace, king, ace, queen suited, something like that. But it's going to get a little weird here.
$1,400.
You're just supposed to call a 4-bet here. And this deep, there are lots of ways to get away from the hand. And I believe in Drew.
I do believe in Drew as well. He's a super solid player. Now, what do you think Drew does here? What would you do here with jacks? I mean, it's easy to see because we know he's beat with aces, but just the way the action where long car opens under the gun, you 3-bet. He is going to come along and peel 1, it looks like. We are going to see a turn.
I call 1.
And then, I mean, see, and this, it doesn't change anything. So what do we do now? Now we're in the same spot, right? Pot's at 4,400.
Yeah, but I mean, you gotta think someone's gonna fire one with ace king, but you know, not everyone always fires again here. Like the deuce is kind of a brick.
Yeah, let's see what sizing Phil goes for here. 40, almost 4,500 in the pot.
Sit 6 bet,
And it
$2,000.
looks, yeah, looks like a little under half pot bet here.
About half
2K
pot.
into about
Yeah, half pot
4,500.
sounds
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
And again, this puts you at one of those spots. 6,500 in your stack. 2K is a big chunk to it. Sucks to let go of jacks and then have Phil just flip over another bluff like he did last time with the ace-10 against Drew's ace-king. You know?
10 seconds.
But again, I believe
Very
in Drew,
different,
like
though.
you said.
That was a single raise pot, bet check, bet line.
Yeah.
Like,
No, absolutely,
this is-
absolutely. And Drew going to throw in one of those time bank cards. Every 30 seconds, you do burn a time bank card here. But it is important to have them on tap when you get stuck in spots like this. You can see Drew.
You can find a
you can
fold.
see if,
I'd have a hard time.
I think you will. I mean, look, just you can feel like he knows it in his gut that something's up, and his jacks might not be good here. Nice fold, Drew.
Go. Yes.
We've got all the colors of aces so far.
Those were power aces.
Yeah. Drew's a solid player, a seasoned player. He sensed something was up. His spidey sense was tingling and got out of the way.
Sit 3 call.
On the turn, he bets big. He's like, you should go all in right here. You should go all in here. I'm going to fold if I don't have it. Just non-stop talking. It's the best.
And right now, Moneymaker not knowing that he definitely does not want to see a 9 at this point.
Yeah. It's funny, we do go
Sit
back
for
to
bet
usually saying
125.
exactly what he meant. Exactly what he wanted. It's so amazing.
Sit 3 call.
It's all on TV too, so it's like everyone's just...
Sit 3 check.
Overall, not the worst flop here for Moneymaker. Queen pairing the board there. Still feeling relatively okay about your 9s. Although Drew been in the driver's seat. Did fire a buck and a quarter on the flop. And oh my gosh, how in the world do you get counterfeited and turn into 9 high? Now, this is an interesting spot because Drew only has 10 high, but it technically is the best. But he's never going to know that, so he thinks if I check, I give up. Do I have to fire to take it? We're going to find out. And he sure does.
Sit for bet $150.
Just enough to try to get it done, and Moneymaker might... What? Coming in for the check raise, you dirty birdie, you! This is sick.
I told you
Wow.
he was a nasty man.
I don't really hate that one.
Nines!
Nine,
Look!
like a boss. I like a boss.
Oh, wow. I mean, obviously, you know, if you're Drew, you can't fault Drew ever, right? Because, I mean, like, if you check there and go to Showdown, your 10 high is never good there, almost.
I just watched the first couple episodes last week, and I'm hooked already. It's so good. If you watch the
Sit
pilot
5
episode,
call.
you'll
Sit
be hooked
6
on it.
pass.
Yeah, I'm on season 1. This is the season finale, season 1. So.
What show is he talking about? Do I want to get hooked on it?
Sit 1
Yeah,
call.
I zoned in immediately. I'm like, what new show can I binge? What?
I know. Go on. And Renee's
One
going to
check.
click to top pair here.
Sit 3 bet $200. Sit 5 call.
Were they talking about the show Suits? Because I happen to be rewatching that myself right now. That show's amazing if you've never watched it.
It gets a little out there, but the first few seasons I loved.
Okay, so you know. I love showing people the pilot episode because I think it's so clever how he just tries to get away, walks in, finds his interview, and, you know. Anyways, we won't get into how awesome it is. Just go check it out, Suits. You'll enjoy it. So the Queen's still the best of it here for Renee and Moneymaker, and typical, like you said, he loves them. The suited one capper cards. 7 high, gonna go for it.
Sit 3 bet $650.
Renee's gonna go through every hand he can't beat and then call. Is this where he gets serious and finds the laydown? No. Thinking, did Chris river this ace? As you say, Chris always smiling. Renee looking for some
Wow,
tells.
you're not doing that thing with your eyes. I gotta be good here, right?
Oh, wow.
10 seconds.
Fold.
Fold.
Oh, wow. Renee makes the speech, says you're not doing that thing with your eyes. I have to be good
No, but,
here.
heads up, it's a lot.
Then
Only
finds
when
the
I
fold.
Oh.
Wow, wow, wee wow. Guys, there is going to be no shortage of entertainment here today at the cage, day 1C. Let's rock it out. And now the battle, oh, the pairs. Oh, wow, card crash imminent. Nines for long card, jacks for Nagy, ace, king suited for the Drewster. Check this out. So the hijack, Nagy is going to pop it up. Long card just flats nines. Drew now thinking, how big do we make it? And then what does Nagy do? Obviously, Nagy has some great history at the table already with long card and Drew. So this should be fun.
$325. Sit 6 call.
I think I might have 3-bet larger than this.
I definitely would have 3-bet larger. So when Nagy flats, what do you do if you're long card here on the cutoff? Now you're priced in. Yeah, you got to come along. Oh, man, this flop could determine some big chip movement here. And you love to see the king right in the window with ace-king. Feels good. Obviously, long card and Nagy, both not huge fans of that flop. At least Nagy with the jack of diamonds, but most likely Drew's just going to start barreling and make it pretty tough for both players to continue. Ooh, just kidding. Going to hit him with a check.
6 check. Sit 1 check.
Wow, now this is going to make Nagy want to definitely see a river here. After it checks through all three, I think that Drew's going to barrel. Can't risk another diamond coming off. What do you think here?
I was surprised by not betting the flop.
Sit $400.
So I do expect a bet now, yes.
So he's going to fire 400. Not super large, about 40% pot. Look at that. You can see literally the cheekbone movement. These cameras, though. Dang.
10 seconds.
Make sure you go get a fresh trim cut and everything before you go on this stream. Wow, look at that. Phil really just kind of, like, Phil hates folding.
I don't think I fold there.
And, well, you see Phil was very conflicted about it. Obviously, you know, still a player in the hand, doesn't want to give away any information. But heads up, you know, he would have just flashed his hand to Drew and been like, eh. You can literally count the hairs on his mustache. That's just insane. Okay, I'm done talking about the camera. He's going to find the call, thinking a diamond might be good on the river as well. And that's going to be a deuce of pumpkins. Drew's ace king still the best. Pot just shy of 2K. Drew thinking, what do we fire here? Do we go for value? Is long card just trying to passively play some diamonds here? But then again, when he gets double checked to him on the flop, he might fire some diamonds. And it looks like we are going to go for some value. Some chunky value here. Has
$1,100.
Ooh, all right, 1,100 into 1820. Now, if you're long card, you think everybody checked through the flop, right? They checked you on the flop. You barreled turn. I mean, it's just so easy for him to have like an ace queen here, even if he doesn't have his ace king, random king, random queen, and he just lets it go.
Never call. Sometimes maybe could consider raising, but I'd never call here. This looks very, very valuable.
Yeah. And Pimp Daddy Drew looking good in the vest, going to take down a much-needed pot, man. Drew's been involved in some weird spots, and he's had to make some kind of tough folds, right? Jacks against aces earlier on the 10-high board, and just feels good to drag a pot.
For sure, he's been playing well. Taking one down.
It can feel, it can be kind of disheartening, and you know, obviously, poker is a it's all the mental game, right? But if you're playing really well, but you just keep people keep 3-betting you when you raise, and people just keep having it or rivering it, it can just feel very daunting, like you're fighting an uphill battle, even if you are making the mathematically correct moves. So take one down, kind of break that stride, and get back in the zone.
Totally. I've had that happen a few times live where I just couldn't get it going for like 3 or 4 days in a row. And I'm like, have I forgotten how to play this game? No, the cards sometimes you get dealt a lot of tough spots. There's a lot of ways to run back, also a lot of ways to run good.
Yep, totally agree. We kind of talked about that too, where sometimes it can feel like your opponents are just picking on you, right? Like every time you are raising, they are re-raising. Every time you're betting, they're calling, and it's just, you just feel like, why is this person picking on me? And a lot of the times that's just not the case. They just have it, right? We talked about it. They just have it. A lot of the time, they just have the best hand.
What I like to think about is when you have top set, how much action do you usually get? You know what I mean? Like nothing. Mm-hmm. Because it's usually cards that determine that stuff.
Ooh, speaking of cards, look at this board here. Wow, wow, wee wow. We obviously flopped open-ended straight flush for Phil. Misses the straight flush, gets the flush against Moneymaker's nut flush. And Josh on there, romance.
This is sick.
Look, if the straight flush came, I just jump out my chair. I might kick out the power cord. I'm just saying. So, but right now, this is just going to be a bloodbath. Could you imagine the King of Spades or something rolling off? Oh God! 8 of Spades, King of Spades.
That's the board game.
And this is going to slow things down.
Jacks, 9s, and Ace King of Spades.
That's actually really funny because they were talking about the other hand with Drew, right? That would have been the flop for Ace King of Spades and Jackson 9. So
Ace Jack 9 Spades.
I can't get a hand. Might as well have lunch.
Always the flop leg.
That's
10 seconds.
flop right there.
Always the flop leg.
The last hand.
1,200 bet.
1,200 and a 2K now. That's what Phil bets. He just stacks the call and stares Phil down.
Raise 3,000.
And we're going up.
Yeah, like in here.
Raise 3,000.
In here they have like a tight suit. I mean a tie suit. Outside they got a cauliflower suit, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
Phil clearly not loving this.
I expect a fold from Phil.
It just looks like he needs to deal with it emotionally before he says fold. That's basically what I'm feeling from Phil right here. Oh, sorry. Guys, that got me. That almost got me yesterday, too. We had a player flinch and almost flip over their hand because Renee tossed in a time card, and we thought we were like flicking in a chip to call.
Pass.
And yeah, he does find the fold.
That's a nice angle.
Great fold by Phil.
Oh my
And he's going to see the good news.
Wait, did you guys check flop? Check call?
Check around on the floor.
Run good for Phil continues in different ways.
Were you talking about the time placard angle thing?
Yeah.
So bad.
But
You know, the
I don't know
funny
if that's
thing is,
really
it actually
angle,
was
but-
totally... No, I know, but no, it is really funny you say that because it was totally unintended, obviously, but he just tossed in the time bank card, which normally you can just leave him there, and then at the end of the hand, they say you owe me this many time cards. That's how, Ebony had a thing about that on day 1A, but it's one of those things where he didn't mean to, he just threw it in, and then Alexander, a very solid, seasoned player, like twitched his hand real quick like he was going to flip up his cards. And so all of a sudden, I noticed it, so did Payday in the chat, and then Renee noticed it as well at the table, and he's like, whoa, what was up with that flinch? Like, it totally changed the dynamics. And I actually talked with Renee after the stream yesterday, and he said before that flinch, he was thinking about raising. The board was straighted. And so Alexander was trying to blow him off the chop pot. And so he was thinking about raising, but then with that flinch, like he was so eager to flip his hand like he had it, then he decided to find the fold. And under the gun, long card with some fun suited connectors, and every time just running it into something When Nagy has now this Nagy's had aces 3 times, maybe 4 at this point. He's got this is his second time at least, maybe third time with jacks.
Racing to 325 total.
And he actually also, I believe, had one of the times he had aces was against Drew's 4-5, but now this time, he's always got a pocket pair against some suited undercards. If there's a way to pop some jacks, this 9-10 suited could get fun. Maybe put the jack of spades out there and we'll see where life takes us.
4 heads up.
Wow, wow, wow. 7-3-3 here, couple of spades. And long card does have a couple of overs here to this board with a spade draw. Could get weird. Now the board already being paired is going to pull the jack of spades out of his range. If that card peels, we're going to see some blood for sure.
Seed 1 is calling.
And Phil is going to bet. Long card finds the call, and that is a spade close to the jack, but not the jack, which is perfect. And that, my friends, is how you get ahead of an overpair with 2 unders.
Number seed checks.
Ship it to Papa.
That's what he's thinking. Definitely does not want to see another 3 or jack here, obviously, on the river. Not a bad spot to be. 11:45 in the middle.
700.
Ooh.
He drops the plaque confidently.
He drops plaque on Phil, and Phil does respect a good plaque dropping. So here's the deal. If this wasn't the queen of spades and it was an under spade, it makes it a whole lot easier for Phil to continue. At this point, I mean, long card could have had a variety of combo hands here, could have drilled a queen. It makes it a little bit of a tougher spot for Nagy, knowing that he basically doesn't have any redraws-ish. I mean, I guess a jack would do it, but you're not really calling for the 2 outer. Or another 3, I guess, in this case. But if he puts him on the queen, that doesn't change things.
It's the spot you hate in poker.
Yep.
Having a strong hand that turned into a bluff catcher out of position. And just trying to figure out how much they can be bluffing.
He's going to find the call. I'm thinking a red 8 of diamonds on the river. That's my guess. That's my read. Nope. Close, though. Long card with a stare down. Phil with a very quick check. Long card's got to feel great about this river. Obviously not double pairing the board. Doesn't bring in a 4th spade. Just thinking, how can I get some value here? Should be good almost every time. 2,500 in the middle.
He's folding.
Well, I guess that actually makes sense. He's basically just got a pot-sized bet behind. And now Phil thinking, am I really just bluff catching here? I think Phil will just find the fold.
Phil calling here.
Yeah, Phil should just find the fold. He was pretty close to folding the turn. This river really isn't going to change anything here. Queen B in the chat thinking Phil will pay him. I think he will not. I think Phil was already in the tank on the turn. I don't think Phil's ever Hollywooding a bigger flush here ever.
Number 6 is folding.
You can tell just from his demeanor on the turn too. Like, I mean, he wins the Academy Award if his demeanor on the turn when he was like kind of in agonizing pain over it. I mean, he never has him there. If he has him there, then you get the Academy Award, bro.
You know what I kind of hate but also like is that there's good poker being played. But play like more of a fish, Phil. You're supposed to be the CEO. Like, splash more, you know?
When we were all living together at the Thirst Lounge in the islands, right? You had one giant room we're all grinding in, and that same room is basically the big open living room and kitchen. So on the 5-minute break, it was just this massive like rush to the kitchen, and there's like something in the skillet, something in the toaster, something in the microwave, something in the oven, you know, like everything's already like popping off, and then it's just like smoke bomb vanish and everybody's back to the grind.
Seat 3 is calling.
Y'all didn't have like one person like that
we should
wasn't
have,
playing?
bro. We should have. We should have. Well, you know, if we did, people were generally like, "Hey, I'm cooking. Can I make you guys something?" You know, that we're grinding. We were always respectful of that, but that wasn't always the case. You know.
Shout out to Colleen. She's always got the smoothies, the hooks up, and the hookups.
Okay, we have 4 players. It's betting 210. Seat 2 is folding. Seat number 3 is calling. Seat 4 falls. 4 heads up. Seat number 6 is thinking. He checks. Seat number 3
Okay, so if it's this, okay.
is betting 475. Seat number 6.
Phil, I hope you bust his ass on the river. Hopefully it's like a really
And
bad
the old classic mid pair versus top. Also with the ace of clubs too for Nagy. Some backdoor clubs for Moneymaker as well. Oh, there it is. The old 6-8. Sorry, I was just reading the flop graphics.
Checks.
Yeah, 2 pair versus top.
Yeah, I was wondering about the betting. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just like, wait, what's going on here?
It's betting 750 total.
Tough spot for Phil.
Yeah, who doesn't like some
Walking
ace
nut
king,
flush.
especially with
Number
and with that kind of board
raising
texture
to
too,
4,000
right?
total.
I mean, whoa,
And he's played fairly
baby.
passively.
Phil raises to 4K with a check raise monster.
I was
backdrop.
wondering about it. Oh, snap.
Wow.
And the Moneymaker has the 8 of clubs.
I know,
So that's one of the main flushes that Phil could have.
10
right?
seconds.
Because you get 8x of clubs on the flop, right? And then,
Yep.
dang.
So
Wow.
Moneymaker, like in theory, has to call here with the 8 of clubs, I think. But I mean, in some of these spots, it has more to do with do they have it? Are they ever bluffing here, right?
And it looks like he did fold. Did he find the fold? He sure did. Moneymaker
Found the
found the
fold.
fold.
Oh, see,
This is where you tell Chris.
You owe
keep
me
betting,
one.
sir.
I did it for Renee.
JVB?
I did it for Renee.
Thank you.
Confirmed.
I think that was a fist pound into a high five, and I love that awkwardness.
3 players.
Josh in the driver's seat here with the best hand. So many hearts out there in play already. And of course, there's still a heart draw. Let there be fireworks,
Number
baby.
6
Jack high
and
flush draw,
2
king high
are
flush draw.
Checking.
Hell, even ace queen with the queen of hearts in their hand.
once again, sick bluff raise with top pair, top kicker on the river by Phil
Yeah.
Nagy
Racing
with the
to
ace of clubs.
475 total.
He's going to come in with a little
Number
check raise
2
here
falls.
with a better flush draw
sir.
with his king 4. Wait, he's got king high flush draw, second up flush draw, random 4 on the dummy end of a straight draw. Drew, I don't know. Drew's hand looks really pretty.
I think Phil's going to win this pot. I also think that there's some way that Drew ends up winning the pot as well,
10 seconds.
since they both pretty much have nothing at the moment.
4 is calling.
Yeah, if hearts don't come in, which there was a lot of hearts dead already. Phil's gonna just drill this
Phil
pot
wins.
to the moon.
Yeah.
Seat number 6.
For the record, I wasn't bluffing. I did order a quesadilla. It's gonna be delicious.
Bets
Ooh, I want it right now.
50.
And 650 is a bet by Phil after he does check raise the flop. Flush draw versus flush draw. Phil was already ahead with a higher flush draw, but now drilling top pair. Pot just shy of 2K. Drew in the tank. Another thing, if you talk about trying to represent that you don't play poker very often or you're new to the game, I know it's instinctual, but don't shuffle chips at the table. That's kind of a tell you've spent some time there.
I'm actually very proud that I can shuffle chips. I've got giant sausage fingers.
Boss built that.
You have 4 more. Yeah, they just give me 4 more.
And he is going to make the call, and Drew doesn't know, but he does not want to see a heart here, or he is going to bleed chips.
Yeah, I'm very proud of myself.
And that is definitely not the heart, and that should save Drew the rest of the monies.
Six.
Balance Rage says California Mexican food is best. Ape, would you be better ordering something else? I cry inside whenever I eat Mexican cuisine in Canada. It's like hipster Mexican. It kills me too. I understand you. I'm from Texas, so I also like Tex-Mex.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I miss the most when I'm in Canada, actually.
10 seconds.
After this hand, I mean, I think we're just... Oh, wait, how much?
Betting 1,050.
Ooh. Remember when you said there was also a chance that Drew wins this pot?
What do you think?
10 seconds.
I think he's going to find the call. Yeah.
Still is calling.
Literal side call. See, there Drew sees. He did not want the hearts.
You got saved.
I know. I thought I wanted a heart.
The literal side call.
Nagy and the hijack just going to pop it up. The old 8-9 suited, run it right into Josh's mystery hand, who 3-bets at Moneymaker flatting from the small
3 players.
with the second nut no pair, the old ace queen. And how about drilling that
did he
queen
cold
right
call?
there? He did cold call, but look at this. Not only does Moneymaker drill top, Josh Hopkins
Sorry,
still with the
check.
mystery hand, but
Check.
Nagy with the ever so amazing pair and a flush draw. And that, my friends, when I have a pair and a flush draw, my fold button is generally just broken.
As it should be.
Check.
You got ace queen with the ace of hearts, though. Oh, this makes it less.
C3 check.
Interesting turn,
The
though, as
money's
the
gonna
ace
go
comes in.
4 check.
Yeah, now we have top 2 for Moneymaker. We still have pair and a flush draw for Phil. And who even knows what Josh has? What if Josh has a monster? Then we'll really see some blood.
Seats 2 bet $750.
This is actual money we're playing for, but it's a tournament.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that way, right? These chips have no dollar value yet. And while Moneymaker basically has the effective
Raise
nuts, no set,
$1,900.
he's going to come out swinging. Moneymaker with his, seems like pretty frequent check raising. He's going to check raise Josh here. Fire 750, makes it 1,900 to go.
Six fast.
Right when my quesadilla will be here.
Monkey Mill says, Ape, are you having FOMO? Only about the quesadilla that Trey's about to eat.
It's carne asada. More jealous?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Yes.
I paid extra for the steak. All right, so it looks like Josh is going to make the call. So welcome to the Jack Link's Beef Jerky Mystery Hand. Top 2 for Moneymaker. And 10 is going to potentially bring in some straights. Some King Jacks get there, some 8 Jacks get there. Obviously, you would want those hands. Those hands would most likely have to be hearts to get this far into the hand. But Moneymaker, all things considered, got to still be feeling pretty good about his hand. 4,700 in the middle. Moneymaker down,
Three
yep,
bet on it.
all in. And that was not a snap by... Oh. Ooh, Josh thinking about it. Double checking his cards and in the tank. So what are we thinking Josh has? Does Josh have... What does he have here? Does he have a 2 pair? Does he have... Remember, he 3-bet pre. And Moneymaker just flatted with ace queen. So is there some 2 pairs? I think we would have already seen a call with a set.
seconds.
And no, he's just going to let it go.
That's what I was thinking.
I'm gonna go with 7 nines. I'm gonna go with 7 nines. Pocket nines.
If my
You got a
teller's
nine?
right on it, you get a huge
Oh,
hand.
never mind then.
This is great. Josh actually looked red at Moneymaker and said ace queen, and he said no.
Hearts.
That is probably why. That's probably why Longcar was tuning in right there, just to see.
This place?
Just
Shout out to
see.
Longcar and Lady Longcar.
And ladies and gentlemen, we are back for level 2 of the cage. This is the final day 1C here at the cage. 5K buy-in, 5K rebuy / add-on, and it looks like we have some fresh faces at the table, including Ryan DePaulo and John Party. So it looks like there, again, will be no shortage of table talk. Justin Kelly on comms with you, along with Mr. John Van Fleet, a.k.a. Abe Styles. My dude, I'm looking forward to this next table. And the blinds increased 25.50.
For sure. I'm looking forward to some, if not good play, good table talk for sure again. John Party, Ryan DePaulo, 2 of my favorite people.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. Ryan DePaulo looks like, at least right now, John Party's already in good spirits. Ryan DePaulo might be in kind of a little bit more serious mode, a little bit in the tank with those headphones on. We saw him, unfortunately, punt off into Ana Marquez's top set, one of the previous day ones. And I think he's looking for a little revenge here, so hopefully he can spin up a stack. Yeah, hopefully he can spin up a stack, and we will see what these 2 players do. I also got word that there might be a mystery 6th player sitting down in the near future who you might recognize as well. So buckle up and let's get down to the action. Oh, and that is who I thought it was. Dan Stavilla there. And Dan looking a little different with the shades and the facial hair. But when Dan was just a wee baby, barely old enough to even be legally in the casino, he was at one of our previous cages, and he was our big winner. He looked like just a kid. He was like 18, 19 in there, and just smashed it for like 40-something thousand and made it look easy. So the fact that he's back at this cage does not surprise me, and I'm very stoked to have him at this table. You might have also ran across him on ACR. His username is D Stavilla there as well.
I think I may have played with that name.
You definitely have. He fires a lot of tournaments, probably around your buy-in level, so now you can put a face with the sunglasses to a name.
And the color. Sort of a peachy color he's wearing.
Yeah, you can't miss that. Real men can pull it off. Dan fits the bill.
I think he can.
Or heads up.
I remember me, Dan, and his other buddy went out and celebrated after his win, and it was so great. We went out to some, I don't even know where we were at. We were all drinking, went out to some club in Costa Rica, and Dan disappeared. And I was like, oh, where's Dan? And he's like, I was hungry. He went outside to like the guy grilling meat, the mystery meat on like the street barbecue cart, and just bought everything on his cart and just came and started handing it to people because he was hungry.
Awesome. That sounds like an approved play for my. That sounds like a play from my playbook.
I love it. I look at him. I'm like, what is it? And he just looks at me. He's like, I don't know. Good, have one. And I'm like, okay, I'm in. You convinced me. So look at this here. Open-ended for Jose. Middle set of jacks for Dan. And we got fireworks already first hand at the table, baby. That could slow things down. Does bring in some potential clubs. Neither player with a single club.
Checks.
Now Jose kind of turning his little semi-bluff into a bluff here.
750 total.
He's open-ended. Trying to rouse some clubs here, though, with position on the dealer button. A lot of back and forth. With all the betting pre, actually, a set of queens is also potentially in Jose's range as well.
Muy bien, jóvenes, para todos los interesados en jugar el torneo del día de mañana, Second Chance,
Meanwhile, I'm sweating just from this salsa.
Un super satélite de $65 que garantizará 5 entradas. 5 entradas de $650.
And tossing in a time placard. Looks like he has a fat stack of them.
He's not going
you do get
anywhere.
more time. No, he's not going anywhere, but you do get more time placards in between the blind levels here. It doesn't look like he really used any of them the first round. Clearly, looking to use one now.
It's all in.
And goes all in, says you do not have the flush. All in and a snap, but he didn't have much left behind, actually. I think that's the reason why here.
Niveles de 15 minutos.
And a 9 or an ace on the river would just be disastrous for Dan. Otherwise, he's going to drag a healthy pot. And that's gonna do it.
We're gonna be spreading
Whole lot of jacks for Dan. And welcome to the table, the kid. Back at it, first hand. Eliminating a player, says, come at me. D. Stavilla in the house. Welcome back to the cage, my friend. All right, so are we going to call him Gwine? Is that what we're going to do here? Yeah, we got to settle on it. I'm thinking Gwine it is.
It's 5 re-race. 360.
Sometimes
You
when we
say
can't
Gwine, I
pronounce
say
people's
Gwine.
names. Okay, let's go with Gwine, man. Red Gwine. No, seriously though, when you can't pronounce somebody's name, sometimes we just give them a fun nickname, and that's what we stick with the whole time, you know?
It's a 4 call.
Oh my God, the needle in the chat says, Ryan DePaulo, the guy that bluffs and busts out frequently. Wow, apply cold water to burned area. And how about this? King, Queen, 7 peels down, couple of hearts. DePaulo with top pair, but Gwine rocking top 2 with the second nut. Heart draw, if some running hearts wants to happen.
Not a bad flop for Gwine. Nothing to whine about. Oh God, I'm done.
It's gonna be a lot
Ryan's
of
for sure.
$260.
Ryan for sure here is going to be losing at least one bet, I think.
Yeah, there's no gwiding for me, man. You just keep up with the jokes. We're gonna really enjoy ourselves here.
Oh no, I mean I like dad jokes, but like we gotta slow it down. For people,
We can't. I mean, we can't.
for the love of please, all
we
things
can't
good.
go that fast. Seriously.
It's 4 check.
Looks like he's gwinding up for another bet.
No, I'm all moving.
Okay, I'm stopping. I promise, guys. We won't take it there. We will not take it there. And he does do just that. 8 1/4 is the bet. Pot just under 2,200 now. Ryan with just top pair. I mean, the board's not improving his hand at all.
10 seconds.
No real redraws. I believe in him. I think he can toss it. In a deep stack format, you're going to want to just fold here, I
I
think.
just wanted to use just in case. Let's see. I don't know that one.
It's 4 check.
And the deuce of nothingness on the river here. He's going to use one time block to start. I don't think he's ever worried about not having the best hand here. I think he's just worried about what value to go. I don't think Ryan ever shows up with ace-10, 9-10. Never shows up with a set here.
I'm going to guess around 2/3 pot.
It's 5 bet all in.
All in. Wow. I thought for a second it was just 500. I said, what a value small bet, but he...
Just got here. What are you doing?
That's how much he had left, though, right?
Everyone?
About 2/3 pot.
I already said fun play today.
No, he had like 5K behind. He was way over pot bet. Well, Ryan DePaulo might have to slow down his foot fetish talk for just a minute while he picks up 9s against Valentine's 10s. Battle of the blinds here.
Okay. Raise $600. Can you put the big chips in front?
Look at this. This is very cheeky little check limp raise
they
here.
Have to be visible, yeah, you can use it.
So a
This is
little
a
limp
bit
raise
of a
action.
setup.
Yeah.
Bit of a setup,
9s,
blind versus
10s.
blind.
And this is tricky because here's the deal. Valentine, I believe, just limped. DePaulo raises. Valentine then comes back over the top. Now, Valentine, I don't know this guy, but he looks like a relatively straightforward player. Now, if somebody like Moneymaker or Phil did that to me, I could see it being trappy. I could also just see it being bluffy and trying to take advantage of me. But Valentine kind of looks like a straight shooter to me. I'm going to give him credit for this sneaky. Oh, wow. Going to get it in for
The play is
2,700.
to call.
Show the cards, please.
Like, you're supposed to call in position, really, but it doesn't make that much difference. Just nines plays well enough. What are they, like 50 effective? Regardless, it's a cooler and you're going to lose some chips here.
And he's going to need that 9-ball. Can't find it on the flop. 2 cards to come. Valentine just trying to hold. Another 8-ball, and Ryan not feeling good about this. And that is going to seal his fate. Our boy DePaulo hits the rail for a second time. GG's, my friend. Valentine, meanwhile, adding 2,700 to the stack.
I get that one. I think I
GG Rise.
Blind's currently at 25 and 50 with a $5 ante. This is a beautiful, fun kind of tournament cash game hybrid where you are locked into, well, that's why they call it this, the cage. You're locked into the cage here for 2 full days of play. You have 2 3-hour levels today. You have 3 3-hour levels tomorrow. And all you have to do, survive. At the end of day 2, every chip dollar for dollar value is turned back into USD and yours to do with as you please. 5K buy-in, 5K rebuy. Welcome to the party. Justin Kelly alongside John Van Fleet. And that is a whole lot of 5s for Dan on that flop. Check that out. Against top pair with some backdoor hearts and some gut shot action for Gwyn, there will be blood.
Poor John Party.
check.
Can you get away from top pair?
John Party says, I've never seen a top pair I don't like.
C5 checks.
How good does it feel to be flopping a set if you're Dan here in position? But you're against 2 opponents, and that's a relatively coordinated board. There's a lot of cards that roll off that complete some potential straight draws that you definitely don't want to see here. He does have at least one customer. Now, what if you're doing here? You're kind of in this sandwich as John Party. You got a player behind you, player in front of you.
Call into.
And he is going to peel one here to a turn. Lots of favorable turns the party can catch to improve his hand. And that's one of them right there, baby. Top 2 feels good. This also makes Gwyn open-ended now. And Dan still with bottom set. Buckle up, Buttercup. We're going to the streets.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Crazy turn card for everyone.
What a action turn card. Get out the popcorn.
Number 2, it's betting. 450 total.
He's clearly upping the price here. He doesn't want to let too many more middling cards roll off that complete people's hands. Now, Gwyn is going to give up the straight, but Party is going. Say it with me now, folks. Nowhere. Looks like the graphics are incorrect. Gwyn found the fold. Dan's still in the hand with his bottom set of 5s. Oof. And this is kind of music to Dan's ears, obviously. So here's the deal. Either Party flop the straight with 7-8, or does he really have a higher set? I think he's thinking exactly kind of what Party has, that random 2-pair range. Dan, obviously, still with bottom set of 5s. We know his hand. Thinking, how do I get all the value? Would Party ever play this way with a set? He would have probably check raised on the flop. He never would have played jacks this way and turned a set. I think Dan's still feeling pretty good about his hand here. And except for the one world where Party happens to have 7-8. And this river could decide how big this pot gets real quick.
Or heads up.
And that might slow things down a bit. And look at that. You know, the crazy part is if Gwyn had stuck around, Gwyn would have made the second nut straight with 8-10, actually. That's even more disgusting. Well, all in and a call, and he's going to see the bad news. He's going to see the bad news. And Dan stacking up. And another victim falls to Mr. Stavilla. Wow, wow, wee wow. Knocking out players like a boxer at the table. Dan is on fire. J Pards, much love, my dude. That turn was just a car crash waiting to happen for J Pards there. Pards, much love. Love you, man. Love Stavilla as well. And you can see just, you know, there are no friends at the poker table, but obviously it's not the first time Party and Stavilla have butted heads and hung out at the cage. So always good to see a friend. I guess if your chips have to go to somebody, they're good to go to a good home, you know?
Odyssey says, is this cash or turdies? My answer is yes.
My answer is the animated gif of that little girl shrugging, saying, why not both? But yes, long story short, exclamation point structure in the chat. Ghost of M just brought it up. Essentially, it's a $5,000 buy-in, $5,000 rebuy. Both have to be purchased at the beginning. You can use the rebuy as an add-on instead if you'd like. But this is tournament style in that there's escalating blinds, and you cannot cash out at any time. You have to play 2 full days, but at the end of day 2, dollar for dollar face value, every chip is turned back into real cashola and yours to do with as you like. Right now, battle of all the aces here. Ace 10, ace 10, ace 6. And obviously we don't find the case ace. A couple players got out of the way. Now we have the old same hand syndrome. Both players with a heart.
Call.
And this will make things interesting. Both players still with ace high. Both players thinking they can catch a sneaky backdoor 4-card flush. And if this comes in with a heart, we'll see some action. If it comes in with Brick City, could see some bluffage.
C2 bet, $275.
Man, I got to tell you, I am so jazzed. Well, first off, to see this river. And then second off, for day 2 tomorrow. Oh, and it does come in with all the hearts. Both players thinking, did I just get lucky and river my opponent? Clearly Dan with the nut heart, though. Ebony, though, with the king of hearts out there. 4th nut for her.
It's going to be hard to call that turn and then fold the river unless it's a very big bet.
And that's the problem is you call with these draws, and then you hit your draw, and stuff gets weird, and you're like, well, what do I do now? Right? I got exactly what I wanted, and now I'm kind of like, huh? Dan, Ebony keeping a really close eye on Dan. It's going to bet 750 into 1150. What do you think about this sizing?
It's a nice size. It doesn't necessarily mean that he only has the ace of hearts or less. Or he can definitely have the queen of hearts here too, value betting. Oh, looks like Ebony called.
Yep, she did. She did find the call there pretty quickly. And that's kind of what we were talking about, right? I think you call looking for the heart, you get the heart, and then you're not really looking to hit what you want to hit and then fold. Unless, you know, the scenario or the script changes from your opponent. And she was just unfortunate there to see that Dan did, in fact, have the ace of hearts. And there it is, Svetlana Gromenkova, an online qualifier from ACR. There's the nickname there for Itorpola. And a little ace-7 versus Svetlana's fun suited connectors here. Blind versus blind. We've actually seen a decent amount, and I guess it kind of makes sense being 6 max, but we've seen a decent amount of blind versus blind action today.
She's calling.
Of course, it all depends who's on the button to your right? If you got a hyper aggro player, they're going to start shutting a lot of that down. But right now, I'm seeing all sorts of fun blind versus blind today. And this is no shortage of fun here. Look at this. We got a gut shot. Yeah, we got a gut shot wheel draw. And this might happen more towards the end of the day as you want to put less at risk and you want to take more into day 2. But look at this for Svetlana. You're not hating this flop. You got a spade draw along with a gut shot wheel draw. And even Valentino connecting here with top pair. And oh my God, what a just disgusting turn card. 7 of spades gives Valentine aces up along with the nut flush redraw. Meanwhile, making Svetlana's current flush and giving her a straight flush draw. Game on.
I told you earlier that I had a like I was rooting for the ladies, so
I mean, what a turn card here. This is just insane.
this is a sick cooler.
That turn card, I mean,
She only
that
has
turn
2,000
card is
behind
just,
this.
oh, that turn card is just insane. In Action Central unlocked. Achievement unlocked. Maximum turn carnage. Wow, look at that close up on the pine cone. I'll tell you what, 8K resolution makes anything look amazing.
10 seconds.
Lana trying to keep the cool here.
She's raising.
Gonna hit him with the raise.
850 total.
And Valentine just
Gently
0.
tosses that raise out.
I know, and Valentine just, there's no folds here. Valentine's just going to say, let's rock. Look at that look.
I am betting at this point that he gets stacked.
It's calling.
Just call it. Good.
Ooh. Oh, he did just call. I was going to say, because if he rips, I mean, it's just rip, snap. There's nothing you can do. Now, if this is a brick, oh my God, poor Svetlana. No, not like this. Svetlana, my love, no. Oh, what a brutal river. You just hate to see it if you're Svetlana here in this spot, man. Such a great flop, such a great turn, and then just such a disappointing river. Oh, it just hurts. I think your only saving grace is if Valentine. Oh, man. Svetlana, just check behind for some showdown. Come on. Don't do it. Problem is if you're Svetlana and you fire her, I think you're always just getting called by, better, right? And she's going to see the bad news here. That's unfortunate.
You only one of them?
You know,
Thank you.
true player doesn't even bother flipping her hand and being like, oh, this is bullshit. She just says, yeah, that's a bum. On to the next one.
I celebrated too early for her.
I know, I wanted it too. You know what? I think we should celebrate the fact that Valentine didn't rip it all in on the turn there, and then she's just forced to call, and then she's completely out. Hopefully we can still find a little spin up for her. Hopefully we can find a spin up in the double upper stack going into day 2.
30 bigs tomorrow for Ebony. Tomorrow's a new day.
Yeah, coming back to 4080. 4080, then 5100, then 75-150 is going to be a chunker.
I'm a tournament donkey. Let's start it at 30 big blinds.
Right? Why not? Let's do it. I'm in. I can get behind that.
I'm just saying. It's plenty to work with.
I've won more with less. And Dan, no stranger to this cage here. Don't know if Alexander's played a cage before, but I do believe we looked up his Hendon mob and he had like almost $5 million on there, so definitely no stranger to the game at all. Ebony's definitely fired the cage before. The cage is its own really, really, really special, unique format. It's a whole lot of fun. It really is. Alexander versus Svetlana. Ace high still good.
I will not miss the next one.
Yeah, buddy. Let's do it. I'll promise you. I'll tell you what. You go to the next one. I'll go to the next one too. We'll have a blast.
Let's do this, like Brutus.
Man, this is sick, man. I knew this was coming back. This is also the first time at this new location, and I have heard nothing but great glowing reviews for this location. So that's pretty cool. Alexander. Go ahead and find the call with ace high. Alexander always has a pretty good pulse on what's going on here at the table. And he's feeling like his ace high was good. And if you felt like it was good on the turn with that river, I think he probably still feeling pretty good about it, yeah? Now, can Svetlana actually find a way to make him fold? I don't think there is. But luckily for them, they're both short. They both need this pot. It'll be interesting. I mean, Svetlana's going to have to really sell this if she fires here.
She checks.
And she is going to check and concede, see the bad news. Now, if you're Svetlana and you see him flip ace high, are you thinking, whoops, missed a final bet? Or are you thinking, if I fire anything less than all in, he probably just calls?
I don't think that you really want to be bluffing with that combo if you're Svetlana.
Yeah, and it's the last pot, too, the last pot of the day, and then you're like, oh, do I really want to just, like, punt it off in the last pot of the day, have him snap call, and it's just GG's, you know?
Yeah, leave yourself something to work with tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, come in, everybody's going to be all stacked up. They won't mind giving you a complimentary double up for like $1,000, so take the money tomorrow. Sounds good to me. Man, that was a whole lot of fun. Really great having you in the booth, having you pick some spots. Man, it was a good time today. Are you going to tune in tomorrow for day 2? You got to, man. That's going to be wild.
I'll be checking in for sure, but I'm not sure I'm in the booth, right?
No, you're not in the booth tomorrow. No, tomorrow is going to be me and Evan Jarvis, a.k.a. you guys might know him as Gripst on Twitch. But we had a wild ride today, and I want to thank you for joining me, man. This was an absolute blast. I've had a different person in the hot seat with me every day, and it's been a whole lot of fun, man. So much love your way. Much love to the chat. I'm Justin Kelly. That, my man, is Ape Styles. This is ACR Poker. This is The Cage, and we will see you all tomorrow for 9 hours of madness. So buckle up and let's do this.